Have you ever been to a lake while you were appreciating those beautiful natural creatures and sharing with your friends? Something was going on underwater without any science. You might think that the underwater world has no sounds at all. Well, I have to say that those underwater animals have much more ways to communicate than human beings. We don't know it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Imagine that we human beings don't have any oral languages, and we can only use body languages to communicate with the others. Will you still think your life is colorful? So do the fish. They don't want to live in a silent environment every day. Yes, fish do communicate with each other. Well, I mean, at least not in Chinese, English, or Spanish. They talk by using different parts of their bodies. Isn't that cool? Even us, we only use our mouth to talk. To be more specific, according to C. Claiborne Ray, some species use electrical pulses as signals, and some other types of fish use swim bladder that has vocal muscle. I think the most interesting way is that fish farts to communicate, because I assume that we don't fart to communicate. Let's get to know some background information of why fish need to communicate with each other. Based on an article from Discovery of Sound in the Sea, sounds travel much faster than light on water. Moreover, because of the complicated conditions underwater, animals can't see things clearly, so they need voices to guide them. And producing sounds is a strategy for toadfish to attract mates. Besides, they use voices to indicate each other that predators are nearby. But how do fish talk? Do they have really specific languages? The answer is no. However, as another passage from Discovery of the Sound in the Sea explains, changes in rate, pitch, and/or structure of sounds communicate different messages. In particular, fishes and marine mammals use sound for communication associated with reproduction and territoriality. Now we know their intention of producing sounds, but the question is how they produce sounds. Do they have the same vocal system as us? As I mentioned before, the most common way for fish to make sounds is by using the swim bladder and vocal muscle. Generally speaking, fish use air to fill with their swim bladders. Then they contract their vocal muscle and make swim bladders contract expand in a very super short period in order to make drumming sounds. Communication doesn't have to be vocal. Have you ever seen fish swimming in a school? All the fish in the school seem to move exactly in the same direction and as one large mass, as well as using vision. The coordinated movements of fishes within the school are the result of input of water flow information to the lateral line system. As one fish moves in a certain direction, it creates a flow of water that provides information to the fish next to it or behind it. Each fish in the school is able to use this information to accurately maintain their position within a rapidly moving school, mentioned in How Do Fish Hear from Discovery of Sound in the Sea. The interesting is that fish do have accents, just like us. As Professor Steve Simpson points out, cod around Britain could have developed localized accents too, because they gather in the same spawning grounds generation after generation. However, fish communication isn't just an easy thing to study. Scientists have applied it to national defense already. For instance, scientists have built an active sonar system to find potential enemy submarines. Finally, I want to let everybody know that things are not always as simple as they look like. For example, we would never know that fish have such a lot of ways of communicating if we didn't put that much effort into it. So we can always dig something shiny from things that are dull.